Right, let's get our Saturday afternoon National League commentary and coverage underway a little bit earlier than usual, because it's just been a very quiet week here at the EBB. Very little's happened. As I've been away for a week or so and come back, Steve, nothing to update me on?
No, I've barely thought about football. There's nothing. It's been a quiet week. Yeah, just enjoying Celebrity Traitors. That's been the news of the week, I think.
All right, Tommy who?
Tommy Rowe. Tommy Fleetwood.
That's the one. All right, we just, of course, it's 10-3. And Aldershot Town are about to kick off a new era. A new era, not a new area. A new era, and one they didn't choose. Someone else did. But anyway, Alan Dowson, already part of the coaching setup, will be in charge today, ably assisted by Lord James Henry. Discuss.
Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for a safe pair of hands, someone who's been there, done it, virtually 1,000 games under his belt, Alan Dowson is probably not a bad man to have just hanging around in the background if crisis does suddenly strike.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it could have been a lot worse that he came in a little bit under the radar over the summer, unheralded, almost unnoticed, and now I think it's his first game in charge for about 18 months, maybe a little bit longer. He couldn't have expected this time last week that he would be leading any team out, let alone Aldershot Town, given his history 7 miles down the road or 11 miles down the road at Woking. But yeah, he's been there, done it, pretty much seen everything that there is to see at this level. And whether by design or good fortune, his presence in the dugout will be a huge step in the right direction for Aldershot Town, looking for a little bit of stability, a little bit of positivity and unity, and we've already seen that from the squad this afternoon. And Tamworth will be a really difficult game.
Certainly will. We're going to do what you have to do in football and move on quickly. We thank Tommy Whittington, of course, for the memories, and one particular memory, of course, at Wembley in May. But he's decided to move on, so we will too. And everybody here in this stadium today has been encouraged, both by, I think, Alan Dowson's own pre-match interview and the chairman Shahid Azim's interview, to get behind. Let's have some real togetherness now. Certain things are out of the club's control, but some things are still within it. And today, first and foremost, before any search for a new manager begins in earnest, it's all about trying to get 3 points off a very tricky looking Tamworth side today.
Yeah, they are. They're very, very difficult. They've maybe drawn too many games, but they're in really good form. They're dangerous. They're hard to break down. They're maybe missing a couple of their key attacking threats, creative threats this afternoon, but they'll still be really strong, solid, pragmatic in a really good way, and they will come here knowing that maybe playing Aldershot Town at the right time, they will think they could get a result here this afternoon, but it is an attacking lineup for Aldershot Town. They will know they need to start on the front foot, have plenty of creativity and pace and movement to get through Tamworth's low block, and then hopefully the unity will see Aldershot Town through to a positive result. Whether that's a point this afternoon, and I think that would be a step in the right direction, or all 3 points that would probably Alan Dowson have dreamt about last night. I think whatever the result this afternoon, you need to see that Aldershot Town are still together and they're still fighting for the badge and the shirt.
Two debutants of sorts. One of them played in the red and blue of Aldershot Town as recently as May the 11th at Wembley. Will Armitage back on loan from Southampton after getting up to match speed in 4 starts for Brackley Town in the same division, so that has to be a positive. Steve, he knows the group of players here around him, and Kieran Gilligan, a short but lively, busy midfielder. We could have 2 of them today with him alongside Cameron Hargreaves. On loan from Burton, 70 odd appearances in League One, both making their debut from the start.
Yeah, I think really good pedigree from the Burton youngster. Still, lots of experience already at such a young age. Still very, very highly rated. A feeling that he can really go on and, in the long term, establish himself at the Pirelli Stadium, and hopefully he's able to hit the ground running and certainly add legs, add dynamism, add movement and mobility to the midfield, because that's what Aldershot Town will need this afternoon against a really strong, combative Tamworth team.
I'm going to go off topic here. So good to see Ollie Harfield out there, really kicking the ball and moving around nicely. I heard he has, this is unofficial, but I heard he has had a little bit of a setback and he does need another small operation. So we don't expect to see him back anytime soon. But back and on the bench today, a bit of class and a bit of experience in the form of Matt Penny. That's good news.
Absolutely, impressed in a cameo at up at Altrincham on the opening day of the season. Looked strong in pre-season. That versatility, that experience, and certainly he has been missed alongside so many players in that Aldershot Town squad, particularly that can do a job, that can more than do a job in the defensive unit. I think it's been said by a few people, you look up at the stands and you could see Aldershot Town's arguably their first choice back 5, and none of them will have featured this season.
Exactly. We await the teams. They'll be out very shortly, listeners. Very good afternoon to Mike Winfield tuned in. Great to be talking to you guys again. I didn't really see much of the Southend game from afar. I was enjoying a weekend with my 2 lads, which is very, very rare. They're not really lads, they're 27 and 30, Matt and Dean. And then I went to Marrakesh, where I did tune in and watch every minute of the live stream, which started about 10 minutes in at Meadowbank. Shots, really gutsy win, Steve, at Dorking, where they weren't the better team, they didn't have the most possession, they didn't have the most chances, but they got the win.
And that's important. That's what it is in any game, but in the FA Cup, where the winner progresses, the loser is pretty much forgotten, that's what they had to do. And particularly at Meadowbank against a team like Dorking, who, for all of their cup problems, for all of their travails in the league, difficult opponents, really difficult opponents. Mark White would have had them fired up, and certainly they made a game of it. And Aldershot Town did really well. A couple of moments of magic from Mr. Barrett, allied to a really strong, gutsy performance. And more of the same this afternoon would go a long way to righting the wrongs and healing the wounds of the week.
Absolutely. A word of thanks to Jed Mearholst, who's been recalled by Bristol City, who just gave us a glimpse of what he might have been able to do in midfield, didn't he, just before he went skipping down the wing and setting up that first goal for Josh Barrett, which is right up there with some of the best Josh Barrett goals.
What a finish.
Quite breathtaking, and as he said afterwards, I try it so often and he comes close so often. Last week 2 of them went in, that doubled his tally for the season. Of course, 8 assists as well already, the most in goal involvements of any Aldershot Town player. All right, then we wait the teams. A word for Aldershot Town's media man Sam Carter, who presides over his final game in that hot seat.
Final league game
of the National League. He will be here on Tuesday. But here come the teams, and Alan Dowson's Aldershot Town are led out by Josh Barrett. The shots in red shirts, blue shorts and red socks. And Tamworth are led out by Ben Milnes. in a sky blue shirt, white shorts and white socks. Welcome to our BBC Radio Surrey online listeners. Welcome to our NLTV viewers via DAZN. It's 19th placed Aldershot Town at home to 9th placed Tamworth this afternoon in the battle for 3 more points in the National League. The shots line up as follows: Dewhurst in goal, Mullins, Jackson and Armitage the back 3, Hill, Hargreaves, Gilligan and Taylor across the middle left to right, and then Barrett supporting Kwame Thomas and Hadi Gandor in attack. And the Lambs of Tamworth line up with Jazz Singh in goal, and then a back 4 left to right: Luke Fairlamb, Hayden Hollis, Kennedy Diggy and Kwaku Donkor. And then across the middle left to right, Beck Rayanoru, Ben Milnes, Tom Tonks and Stefan Moles, with Joe Riley supporting Manny Duku in attack. Our referee this afternoon is Kirsty Dowell, not Dowson, Dowell. And good afternoon, sir. All right. Steve King just coming into the Ebb Stadium to have a look at proceedings today. A manager that's out of work, incidentally. But to be fair, Steve King comes. He loves his football.
Yes.
And he comes a lot. He was here just a few weeks ago when Mark White joined us.
Yeah, I don't think we can read anything into that. He is a regular presence here at the Ebb Stadium, and certainly I think in the chairman's interview yesterday, he said inevitably there's always going to be almost auto reply on news of a managerial change. Certain managers will put their CVs in, throw their hats in the ring, and it is just a case of sifting through those and seeing who's the best man, who's the best fit for this club at this time, because as ever, but particularly at this moment, it is a vital decision and vital that Aldershot Town get the next appointment right.
Okay, let's see how it all pans out this afternoon. Players and managers come and go, but the club remains, and that goes for all clubs, including the visitors today, Tamworth, who of course are led by Andy Peakes, who may well end up with a statue outside the Lamb. Such has been his achievements, and continue to be. Flirting with those playoffs last year, flirting with them again right now. Huge overachievement for Tamworth, and Tamworth get us underway here at the EBB, attacking the East Bank end in the first half. There is an early header for Ben Jackson, who thinks had a bit of a haircut.
I think he's got a bandage on his head.
He's got the head bandage on still, hasn't he, from last week. Here come Tamworth on the right side. Cross comes in, headed away by Will Armitage, who is indeed the right of the 3 centre backs, and Jackson in the middle, and Mullins on the left. There's a good header down by Will Armitage, steps onto the ball, looks to play it inside to Barrett, comes off a Tamworth player, into touch, throw into Aldershot, still inside the first minute. Aldershot Town 0, Tamworth 0. A referee, Kirsty Dowell, says to Archie Taylor, no, you're not having 5 yards or 10, you go back and take the throw from the right place. He's looking for Kwame Thomas. What a mismatch that is. They're allowing Thomas to win the first header, with Beck Rayanoru marking him. Here's Dewhurst outside of his area, plays it forward, and he's out of his goal momentarily, and the ball's lifted towards it by Joe Riley. Riley again wins the ball in the air now and finds Milnes, who plays the ball up to Manny Duku, out to the left hand side to Enoru. Aldershot have won it. Archie Taylor sends it forward. There's a little deflection into the path of Hadi Gandor, who just gets there a little bit ahead of the ball. Here's Hayden Hollis tidying things up. Key player in the Tamworth lineup, Steve, both from their own point of view and from the opposition's. If you can expose him, if you can get at him, there is a lack of pace, but my goodness me, he reads the game so well. On a par with, I'm going to say, Callum Reynolds, and that is a huge compliment.
Yeah, absolutely. Never had pace particularly, whether at Chesterfield or anywhere else, but he's always in the right place at the right time, because he knows that the first yard or two is in the head, and that's where he excels.
petty free kick given away by Tamworth. Tonks it is. Noticed he was on the bench last week. Not sure if he had a knocker. He was just being rested for that one. He'll take his place, of course, in the centre of midfield, but he'll find his way out to those touchlines.
Oh yeah, those long throws.
Yeah, whenever Tamworth are in the final third or there or thereabouts.
Doesn't even need to be the final third, anywhere in the attacking half.
Here's Kieran Gilligan, busy on the ball, getting it and giving it, and that's exactly what he does now to Taylor. Ball forward is cut out by the head of Hollis. Archie Taylor comes in with his back a little bit in the Tamworth player. No free kick given by referee Dowell. Tamworth pick up the ball and come bombing forward with Donkor on the right hand side. He feeds Moles back inside to Riley, and Riley back to Moles, who's taken on Max Mullins, who stops him from getting his cross in, and it's cleared away to touch. And I thought that might have been a corner, but it's been given as a throw to Tamworth. It won't make much difference though, will it, Steve?
No, not when the ball's in the hands of Mr. Tonks. It is a prodigious long throw. He can definitely reach the goal mouth from out wide. He's winding one up right now. I
normally do a little corner count. I'm going to do a throw-in count as well today. Tonks then with his first one in from the right. Very, very high, dipping, goes over everybody, and I think Ben Jackson, well, he might have got there first, but he's been beaten to it. Smart footwork from Minoro, is into the area. He tries to get his cross in, it's cleared behind, and now we can add one to the corner tally as well for Tamworth. Almost 4 minutes gone, 0-0. Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, Onoru against both Armitage and Taylor will be one of the game's key battles. What he lacks in stature, Onoru makes up plenty in creativity and trickiness.
In comes the corner, very deep to the far post, comes off the head of Jackson, I think, goes behind, he adjusts his headband. At least he was up there in between Duku, I think, and another one of the Tamworth players. So a second consecutive corner for Tamworth. And once again, is it Ben Milnes that's gone over to take it? Right-footed, bus stop cue forming, and it comes low, hanging fruit. Ooh, it's a clear free header for Manny Duku, and he's powered it wide of Dewhurst's left-hand post. Big chance for Duku, Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, should have been on target at the very, very least. Got good connection with it. Sometimes you can say from a free header position, he doesn't meet it properly, but no, absolutely powered it towards that far post, but gave it too much, guided it wide. Really good run into space, not picked up. That's a let-off for Aldershot Town.
Yeah, huge let-off. And they cannot allow Duku to get free like that. There's Kwame Thomas at the other end winning a header. It's hooked up in the air and forward by Fairland. Comes back in again. And now Archie Taylor. We say it week in, week out about how the first goal is important. It feels massive today, Steve.
It does.
Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I think so. I think Aldershot, particularly in home games, in the opening half hour of home games, Aldershot Town have struggled. Not scored enough and conceded too many at the other end. If they can get on the front foot, get the first goal this afternoon, it'll lift the whole stadium, lift the team, and also ask questions of what is a depleted Tamworth team.
Ooh, both Jackson and Armitage go up for a header, neither of them gets it, and the ball briefly runs clear for Onoru, but Gilligan, the debutant, was over on hand, very quickly read the situation, cleared the ball into touch for another Tonks throw.
Yeah, and they've got the height as well. Digi, Mullins, Hollis, and number 9 as well, who we've already seen his aerial ability.
In comes the throw, this time from the left from Tonks. Headed away by Archie Taylor. Volleyed back in towards goal and then missed and pounced on. Somebody in the Aldershot back line went to clear the ball, did an air shot, and it went through to Dewhurst. Ended up being an effort on target for Tamworth. Steve Gibbs.
It was Kieran Gilligan who had a swing and a miss, but fortunately didn't put it any further into that far corner than it was already headed, and Dewhurst was able to pounce on it.
Could have been a horrible moment for Gilligan on debut, a horrible start to the Alan Dowson era, however long that is. There's a ball forward from Armitage, that's got too much on it. Even the relatively pacey Hadi Gandor's not going to get that one. And it will be a goal kick, and the evergreen, ever reliable Jazz Singh will take it for Tamworth. For me, although he came up from the National League North into last season, one of the top 4 or 5 keepers in the National League without a shadow of doubt.
Yeah. No lies were spoken.
No. 7.5 minutes gone. You won't hear lies around here, Steve.
What do you mean?
You may hear them elsewhere. 0-0, 7.5 minutes gone. The ball's back with Marcus Dewhurst. I'll do a Stephen Cleave and say, no, I wasn't referring to that. Dewhurst plays it forward. Oh, arms around the throat of Kwame Thomas, but nothing given by the referee. So we'll see how consistent that is throughout the afternoon. Ball into the middle. Tonks is going to win that in the air. Duku's battling for it with Gilligan now. Plays it out wide to Fairlam. Sends it inside. Won by the head of Armitage, but nicely picked up by Tonks, who sends a ball out to the left. Armitage, well positioned, beats Duku in the air. And now Josh Barrett gets the ball under control, feints to play it forward early, goes back to Taylor. Taylor finds Gilligan, lovely ball from Gilligan, spraying it out to the left side to find Ryan Hill in a little bit of space. He's running up against Doncourt now, finds Gandor. Gandor sends it into the middle, cleared away by Hollis, not the best of clearances, only straight to Gilligan. Now picked up by Cameron Hargreaves, Ryan Hill, and Aldershot on the back end of the 9th minute, just enjoying a little bit of possession in the opposition's half. Quick to get into a good out of shape position, which is pretty much a 4-4-2 Tamworth. Here's Gilligan, tries the ball through to Taylor, gets that one wrong. It's cut out rather easily by Tamworth, and there's a forward run by Inoru, and he's impeded by Gilligan, and referee gives a free kick, runs past Gilligan and has a little word in his ear.
Yeah, I think Tamworth were trying to encourage the referee to produce a card for the Shots debutant, but I think rightly just a free kick,
which Jazz Singh is going to take in front of Steve Gibbs and I, who are watching on from the media box just to the right of the home dugout here, some 15-20 yards into the Tamworth half. Singh's going to send this right up against the back line of Aldershot Town, which have been tested already by a corner and 2 throws. There's a ball viciously deflecting into the path of Duku, who gets a low shot away, and Dewhurst, I would say, falls on it rather than saves it away to his left.
Yeah, if that had gone in, the assist would have gone to the face of Tom Tonks.
Exactly.
He knew absolutely nothing about that until the ball smacked him in the face.
He absolutely did face up to that one. Lindsay Morris says, welcome back, the voice of the Shots. That's very kind of you. Hope you had a great time away. I did indeed, thank you. Here's Archie Taylor down the right side looking for Barrett. Barrett's got Mills with him. He's up against him on the edge of the area. He's looking to get across in, hang it up to the back post. He does. And, Tamworth do well to get there first, but Hill reacts really well to send it back to Hargreaves. Now back to Hill. He's going to send a cross into the far post. That's going to go past everybody through the corridor of certainty, I want to call it. And behind the goal away to our right. 11 minutes very nearly gone. Certainly will be by the time Jazz Singh takes the goal kick. 0-0.
Decent delivery from Ryan Hill, but yeah, there was no Aldershot Town player stationed where the ball was being aimed. So therefore, that probably makes it a bad cross.
I think so. I think there's no other way to call that one. We'll keep you posted of other scorelines in the National League this afternoon, throughout the afternoon. Periodically, Duku looks to flick the ball on. There's a foot up in the face of Armitage. Referee decides that it wasn't dangerous. She had the whistle to her mouth and then didn't bother, even though the ball had gone back to the Tamworth player. So surprising one, that one, but we'll go with the flow.
Yeah, I think she decided it was 50-50, kind of a lower head, a higher foot, somewhere meeting in the middle. But yeah, it did seem, I think most referees would have given that as a free kick.
Okay, Rochdale 1-0 up already against Yeovil, and it is one for your bingo card. Manny Di Saruwe with the goal. And Brackley and Gateshead has started, and Zach Cameron, Lily, has had a sending off in the 8th minute. Is a ball forward, all the way through to Singh. Thomas keeping Hayden Hollis company. Hollis not too happy about the style in which Thomas was doing so, but
he obviously didn't see Kennedy Digi with his arm around Kwame Thomas in the first couple of minutes. I think Kwame Thomas has been a polite little lamb, if I can use the phrase, compared to that.
Here comes across from the Lambs, straight to Marcus Dewhurst. So yeah, Alan Dowson taking charge of his 995th game as a manager today. If he completes 6 in his charge of Aldershot Town, he'll reach the 1,000 mark. Here's Tamworth eventually prevailing, midfield skirmish. Thomas and Barrett involved, but there's a good headed winner from Mullins, and he heads the ball down into the path of Ryan Hill. Goes back to Mullins now, clears it forward, but that will go straight to Joe Riley, the Tamworth number 16, who's playing at times a little bit deeper than we thought he might. Here's a cross in from the right, headed up in the air and on, and Enoro might get onto it. He might make room for a shot. He's inside the penalty area, drags it across the goal, deflected up in the air, picked up by Milnes on the edge of the area, and then Armitage reacts before everybody else to clear the ball away. And he's already having a lively second debut here at Shots. Here's Tonks, turned the ball around the corner, can't find Milnes. Mullins sends it forward. Hayden Hollis chooses not to chase, just to block Paddy Gandor. But such was the momentum that Gandor made with his pace that it put Singh off his balance a little bit, and he had to clear the ball into touch. Approaching the 14-minute mark here at the EBB. 19th place Aldershot Town against 9th place Tamworth, and it's 0-0. Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, that's what Paddy Gandor will bring you all afternoon. That willingness, that hard running, that never say die attitude to chase lost causes.
Throw in taken, played back by Gandor to Hill, now back to Hargreaves, sends it back up to Hill. Aldershot relatively patient in their build up. Hill and Hargreaves exchange passes again, then the ball sent in and Digi clears it forward. It's flicked on by Duku, but it's no one up there with him, and the ball will be picked up by Maxi Mullins, who feeds Will Armitage. Exchanges passes with Taylor, plays it forward. Gandor takes it down, holds it up, cushions a pass into the path of Taylor, inside to Barrett. Barrett to Gandor. Gandor on the edge of the penalty area, floats the ball to the far post. Kwame Thomas pounces for it, can't get there. Tom Tonks gets a foot on it. Hargreaves gets a foot in and wins another 40-60 ball. Aldershot spread it out to the right hand side to Taylor. He's running up against 2 Tamworth players now. Has to come back to Barrett. There's a run across the box from Gandor. Barrett feeds it to Taylor again. Taylor onto his left foot, goes back to Barrett, and he's clipped down by Enoru, and it will be a free kick to Aldershot on this right hand side, about 5 or 10 yards outside the penalty area, both in terms of back up the pitch and back out to the touchline. It's about halfway in between the penalty area and the touchline. It'll be the right foot of Josh Barrett that sends it in.
Similar position to where Aldershot Town scored from Barrett's free kick last week?
At Dorking, absolutely. It was Kwame Thomas that got on the end of that one. I think that might have been his 8th assist of the season. Can he find number 9? In it comes. Headers up, loose, balls bouncing around. Referees seen a couple of players coming together. Maxi Mullins tucks the ball into the empty net some 5 seconds after the whistle had gone. An infringement by one of the Shots players in the penalty area there, but a lot of determination to get on the end of Barrett's cross in. 0-0, 16 minutes gone.
Dangerous delivery from Josh, but this Tamworth defence is big and strong, and I would suggest that aerial balls into the box are not necessarily Aldershot Town's best method of breaking the deadlock this afternoon.
Absolutely. Decent crowd in at the EBB this afternoon. That's, I think around about 80 or 90 Tamworth fans. We'll confirm that in the second half. Shots coming down the left side now with Ryan Hill. He's galloping over the halfway lines, cutting inside, plays a ball forward. He's looking for Barrett, can't find him. Ball goes straight through to Jazz Singh. James Henry on the touchline here saying just calm down a little bit when you got the ball, a little bit of patience and craft. 0-0, 17 minutes gone in the first match of the Alan Dowson era, however long that is. Will it just be a brief caretaker role? Will it be extended beyond that? Who's to say, really? We didn't think it would be more than a caretaker role for Ross McNeely, did we, 2 or 3 years ago? But
who knows?
He won his first 3 games and got the job, at least for a little while. Here's Taylor scurrying down the right-hand side. Clips in a ball now. Again, he's going to go straight to a Tamworth player, and they can't get that final ball right at the minute. Gilligan's onto this, but has a heavy touch, and Duku's picked it up. He now sends the ball inside, and Milnes is... It's not Milnes, I beg your pardon, it's Moles who's running onto it. Sends it out left to Enoro, who's on the edge of the penalty area, cutting back onto his right foot, trying to make room for a shot. Finds Duku. Duku has got room for a shot. It's deflected on its way towards the target and blocked. Cleared forward by Jackson, and he finds Hill. There's 3 Aldershot players ahead of Hill, and for a moment, Steve, none of them were making any runs at all. Then Gandor broke into action. He's got the ball now, and he's been... the pincer movement on him from Tonks and Riley, and Tamworth prevail with the ball. Milnes sprays it out to the left. That's too heavy. That'll find touch. Throw in to the shots. 18 and a half minutes in, and it remains 0-0 here at the EBB. And just that 1 goal and 1 sending off so far elsewhere in the National League.
I think the game started maybe as would have been expected. Aldershot Town, positive front foot. Tamworth looking to get balls into the box, using their aerial ability, whether it's crosses from deep or long throws. We've seen both of those to the fore, and particularly where they're missing 2 of their main creative outlets. Roberts, who's injured, Bates, who's suspended and injured. I think maybe those set pieces will be even more prominent for the visitors this afternoon than they otherwise would have been.
Armitage sends a ball forward, flicked on by Thomas into the path of Gandor. But here's Hayden Hollis spotting a loose ball, giving it a bit of a John Smith's moment, a bit of a habit moment, just clearing the lines. It'll go through to other ales are available. Aldershot have the ball on the back line. Gilligan shows for the ball. I think Aldershot might have, certainly in Hargreaves and Gilligan, a little bit more mobility in there. In the centre of midfield, Barrett picks the ball up very deep on halfway and now sprays it out to the left side, looking for Hill. Hill takes it down, runs up against his man, feints the cross, and then runs further backwards, ends up going back to Gilligan. Gilligan squares it across to Barrett, central. Now into the path of Hargreaves. Hargreaves out to the right side to Taylor. Quickly double mark, sends in an early cross. Oh, Kwame Thomas gets his head on it, just turns it round the corner. It's always going wide. For a moment, Ryan Hill thought he could chase it, but had to let it go, give up the chase in the end. 20 minutes gone, 0-0 here between Aldershot Town and Tamworth.
Another promising moment for Aldershot Town, but another ball into the box that is not really going to bear fruit if you're looking at it honestly and clearly and pragmatically. Kwame Thomas, to score from there, would have had to have made a prodigious header, guide it powerfully into the top corner, and the percentages on that are pretty slim, you have to say. I think Aldershot Town need to... I can see why Barrett's dropping deep, because Tamworth are playing in a low block.
Oh, Mullins can't get that, and into the area. Oh, Dewhurst comes brilliantly out to the edge of his area to snaffle the ball off Stephen Moles, and Tamworth really have had 2 golden opportunities to take the lead. Duku's powered header wide after 5 minutes, and then in the 21st minute Stephen Moles has got to do better than that.
He has, yeah. It was a heavy touch. Dewhurst did really, really well, regardless of any heavy touch, but I think Moles shouldn't have given him that opportunity to come out and make the smother.
It's an unfortunate moment for Maxi Mullins, who just was, I don't know, momentarily off balance or wrong-footed, and was clean beaten onto the ball. And Aldershot, well, they haven't scored yet, they haven't conceded today, but I would say they've had a couple of moments of good fortune, and other than that they've worked hard, but another day they could be 2-0 down.
They could, yeah. I think I would also say it's failings on the opposition's part to execute fairly basic skills, but yes, Aldershot Town have allowed the opposition those opportunities, which they need to look at if they're to really truly go on and get a result this afternoon.
Just looking at some of the injured Shots players away to my left and seeing James Claridge amongst them, and I can't remember, I don't know if it happened while I was away, I can't remember him getting injured. You would have thought he'd surely be in the squad today if he was
at the very least.
Aldershot have managed to get 7 subs out. We'll perhaps run through them a little bit later as Tamworth clear the ball down the lines. There's a great headed winner by Will Armitage over Enoru, and then Aldershot lose it but win it back again. Thomas plays it into the path of Archie Taylor. After the week they've had, the one thing these players will want to do is get out there and play some football. Great work from Enoru to take the ball off of Barrett, who's furious with the assistant referee for not giving him a free kick, and he's coming away rather gingerly, I would say, but we'll keep an eye on Josh Barrett. Tamworth just inside the Aldershot town half now with Riley, who's definitely not playing up behind Duku, Steve, is he? That's for sure. Ball out to the right hand side, which was the information which given us to us by the Tamworth media team, so it might have been a change that caught them out as well. Good work from Ryan Hill in his own area to win the ball, sends it up towards halfway. Hollis beats Gandor in the air but can only find Gilligan. Barrett holding the ball up, and again he's just unsettled by the presence of Milnes, who almost takes it off him. In the end they do get it back to Dewhurst, and Dewhurst has found Mullins but can't see a lot of options in front of him and looks rather forlorn about that. Goes across to Jackson to Armitage inside to Hargreaves, and Aldershot still well inside their own half with Taylor, who finds Ben Jackson into Gilligan and gets the ball back. Tom Tonks shutting down the Aldershot town defence, doing the pressing. Yeah,
and it is more of a 4-2-3-1 with Riley and Milnes in the holding midfield positions. Tonks is the more advanced of the two midfielders. And yeah, I mean, Riley is an attack-minded central midfielder, but a number 10 he certainly is not.
Here is Aldershot in possession just inside their own half. We're in the 25th minute and it's 0-0 at home to Tamworth. Here's Archie Taylor threading the ball down the right hand side to Hadi Gandor, switches back one way then the other and wins a corner for the shot. No, he doesn't. Okay, was there a further contact off Gandor? He seems a bit surprised, we're a bit surprised, but the decision from the officials is goal kick, Tamworth.
I think the decision from the assistant referee was that he didn't know. I think he left it to the referee, who was not in as good a position. I think it was one of those that took a number of ricochets, an unspecified number, and in the end
you give the benefit of the doubt to the
defensive team. Yeah.
All right, some goals to tell you about in the National League. York 1, Wealdstone 0, Fagan Walcott with the goal, and Altrincham 0, Woking 1. Morecambe 0, Southend 1. Here come Tamworth down the left, ball squared across by Enoru, snaffled at the near post by Marcus Dewhurst. I didn't see the presentation, but I'm reliably informed as the first home game since the month of September finished, Marcus Dewhurst was the Aldershot Town Player of the Month for September. Here's Archie Taylor coming down the right side, manages to find Gandor. He looks to square it to the far post, and he lifts it to the far post as Kwame Thomas comes near. And that's the sort of stuff they've got to know from the training ground. They've got to know in certain situations where they're going, and on that occasion, well, it was complete opposites. Kwame Thomas gambled to the near post, Hadi Gandor lifted it to the far post. He's great in that little position, Gandor. He's assisted most of his goals doing that there this season. But in those other games, he's perhaps had a couple of players coming in. Here he's been robbed by Enoru and halfway. What a tackle by Gilligan, but the ball breaks loose to Tamworth, and then a ricochet takes it back into Aldershot's path. Enoru has got ridiculous pace, Steve. He's robbed 3 players blind.
Yeah, he's a lively customer.
He certainly is. Here's Barrett under pressure from Tonks. Spreads the ball out to the right hand side where Taylor can go against just one this time if he wants. Skips one way then the other, and he's lost out as Tamworth get support back in defence. Armitage picks the ball up just inside the Aldershot half. Cushioned pass from Gilligan to Hargreaves. Hargreaves back to Jackson and out wide to Mullins. If you're watching on DAZN TV. Apologies for the over description of the passing. We are also providing commentary for our radio listeners or our online listeners around the country and around the world. Good tracking back there from Kwame Thomas, and then hands on from Gilligan. There's a free kick to Tamworth inside the centre circle in their own half. 27 and a quarter minutes gone. Aldershot Town 0, Tamworth 0 here at the EBB on a coldish, but not that cold, blustery autumnal afternoon. We've got that wonderful scene here at the EBB that we get this time of year. Every different colour of leaf on a tree that you could think of. And it's always a lovely sight, Steve.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely autumnal, but fortunately not yet wintry. I think that may come in the midweek games to come in the next few
Jazz
weeks.
Singh with a free kick straight down the middle, one in the air by Gilligan, sent out to the right hand side, and then Archie Taylor beats Enuru in the challenge, comes away with it, but he has a heavy touch and he recovers well. Archie Taylor, superb, gets a pat on the, I was going to say the back, but it ended up being the bottom from Alan Dowson. York 2, Wealdstone 0. Ollie Pearce scoring. And it was Slavy Spazov that put Southend ahead against Morecambe. Scored, didn't he, against the Shots the other week? 2 or 3 of late. Here's the throw down the line from Fairlamb, and it's gone. Well,
it didn't even enter the pitch.
He's going to get another chance because referee saying that it came in and went out. How on earth she can tell that from where she is, unless her assistant referee gave her a signal? I don't know. Throw-in's taken again short this time. Back to Fairlamb. He's outwitted by Barrett, who's won the ball, and then he's been outwitted himself by Riley. Ball picked up by Tamworth, and then a ball out to the left wing. Really thumped out to Enoro, but he killed it dead instantly. And then a poor pass back from Minoru, which is cut out by Cameron Hargreaves as we enter the 30th minute with the game still scoreless here at the EBB.
Really good defensive play there. Teamwork between Taylor and Hargreaves. Taylor was alert to the overlap. Hargreaves was alert to the overlap and knew what he had to do and filled in at right back, and then was helped out by the poor pass from Minoru.
Okay, then here we go with the third Tom Tonks throw of the afternoon on the left side. He's in amongst the North Stand crowd at the minute. Comes back off right into the heart of the area, headed away by Archie Taylor. He's got on the end of both his crosses from the left. There's a lovely whip ball in, and Hollis flicks a header towards goal, but thankfully for Aldershot and Marcus Dewhurst, it's straight out the shots keeper. But Steve, 30 minutes gone now, 3 chances of note, and they've all gone to the visitors.
Yeah, and another header. Hollis and Armitage having a real wrestling match on the edge of the 6-yard box. Armitage ended up on the floor. Hollis was making a free header, but yeah, fortunately again for Aldershot Town. As at the other end, Thomas and Hollis in their own wrestling match, they both end up on the floor. Something and nothing. The ball just runs harmlessly through to Singh, despite Hadi Gandor trying to sniff out half a chance. But yeah, once again, Tamworth using those set pieces to potentially devastating effect.
Couple of flick-ons by Tamworth, and then it's cleared forward by Aldershot, but Tamworth have got it again. Milnes tries the ball into the penalty area. Duku's picking it up on the left side, looks to go past Armitage. Armitage shuts him down. Now he goes back to Milnes. Cross comes in, it's deflected up in the air and headed away by Archie Taylor. Headed back in by Milnes, headed out again by Armitage. Duku's got it on the edge of the area, thinks about the early volley, squares it, can only find Ryan Hill. And the ball is deflected back into the path of Tamworth again. And eventually the referee has stopped the play, but I'm not quite sure what for. Anybody got an idea?
I think the strength of that 50-50 challenge, the ball has punctured.
The ball has punctured indeed. So
Josh Barrett hoiks it over the stand.
Boots it over the stand. Much to everybody's hilarity. Thankfully, that not going to come up with some quirky rule as to why he should be punished for that. No delay and restart when there's a multi-ball system in play. Now Tamworth are going to be dropped the ball on the left-hand side, just 5 or 6 yards outside the penalty area. It's going to be dropped into the path of Milnes, who plays it out to Inoru. Inoru's going up against Gilligan. He's into the penalty area, tries a shot. Oh, it goes through the legs of Ryan Hill. and it's stopped by Dewhurst. Technically, probably, if you were doing your non-league paper match report, which you're not today, that would be another effort on target.
It absolutely would. It more than qualifies as an effort on target, but fortunately didn't really have the power. The only thing that could have taken it into the net was a heftier deflection off Hill.
Here's Inoru to the edge of the penalty area, and Armitage does well, steps in, wins the ball, clears it forward, but it's going to go straight to Fairlam, and Aldershot are winning the ball back but just can't find a pass. This is a whipped cross in from the left, headed away by Mullins into the path of Hill. Now can shots respond here? Thomas has come short, Gandor's gone out to the left. That's asking an awful lot of him, but he battles hard against Digi. Clearance from Tamworth isn't the best, but wonderful touch and turn from the back line there from Doncourt, and he's spread it out to Fairlam, and Tamworth, when they win the ball, are finding their men and finding space. Here's a cross very, 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 very deep from the left hand side, and it's out of play behind the goal, away to our left. Yeah, the irony, Steve, that we've said Tamworth have had 3 chances in the game so far. We've actually had 5 efforts on goal, but 2 of them were very, very weak and on target. Nothing yet for the shots into Alan Dowson's era. 33 minutes. They've not created a chance of any description so far. Not for the lack of trying, but Tamworth are definitely looking the more likely.
They are, absolutely, and I think Aldershot Town need to vary their attacking play a little bit. At the moment, it's a little bit too easy for those 2 towering centre-backs, Hollis and Digi. You need to use the pace, the movement, the creativity of Josh Barrett to open up the defence.
Here's Thomas letting the ball run through to Archie Taylor. Gandor galloping to get onto the loose ball, and he's dragged Digi out of the area. Now Taylor and Gilligan exchange passes on the right hand side, and now they move it inside to Hargreaves. Hargreaves into the feet, looking for Barrett, looking for Gandor. Barrett can't quite get there. Hills onto the loose ball, sends it back to Hargreaves. Aldershot just don't look when Tamworth are in their full out of possession shape. You can't quite see how they're going to create a chance or create a goal. Here's Gilligan, ball down the right to Gandor, receives the ball back to goal outside the penalty. It goes back to Taylor. Taylor with the ball in. Barrett inside the area, squares it across, and it's in from Kwame Thomas. It'll end up being another assist for Josh Barrett. Drove the shot across the goal, and Kwame Thomas was there for the second Saturday running to get on the end of a Josh Barrett ball, and it is in the 35th minute. Aldershot Town 1, Tamworth 0.
An assist for Barrett, but a second assist of absolute brilliance from Archie Taylor to finally open up this Tamworth defence. Superb, incisive ball down that right channel from out near the touchline into the inside right channel that set Barrett free. A rare moment of space for Josh Barrett inside the penalty area. A cross come shot. I don't think it was going in, but Thomas was there to make sure, and in the end rushed onto it from a matter of a yard, maybe 2 at most, and he's put Aldershot Town into the lead. And that is what Aldershot Town needed to do. Vary their attack, a little bit of pace, a little bit of movement, and the Tamworth defence had no answer to it.
Well, Alan Dowson's Aldershot Town might be, at this point in history, the most clinical. 1 chance, 1 goal, and they lead by a goal to 0. But here comes Inoru to the byline, steps back, cuts in, looks to get a clip ball into the far post. He's put it behind the goal. It'll be a goal kick to the Shots. Tamworth will consider themselves very unfortunate to be behind in this. They could also look at it a different way and say it's their own fault, because they have had good chances, most notably Duku's free header, some 8 or 9 yards out, unmarked from Milne's corner. Here's Aldershot, who just need to calm things down, enjoy a little bit of the ball and the possession, and well done, Alan Dowson. Aldershot have got their 28th goal of the season, and at this point, I think, looking at other scores, they remain the top scorers, Steve Gibbs, in the National League. And part of that, I guess, has to be sometimes being clinical on the days when you're not getting too many clear-cut chances and taking them.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely, and I think Tamworth have had chances, but it has been the story of their season. Their chance conversion is not strong enough.
Here's Aldershot on the attack. Hill inside to Gilligan. He sends the ball out to the right side, beautifully taken down by Taylor, and Taylor tries to get across him. That's blocked. Yeah, Taylor won't get any official stats for that, but he was the one that created that goal. Yeah. Barrett did the right thing. He burst onto it. It was a good run, and he got a shot across goal. And here's the throw-in taken by Taylor for Gandor. He gets it back from Gandor. Now it's going to come in underneath the bar, and Singh stays on his line because he can't see where it is. Aldershot thwarted momentarily, but they've still got the ball, and the atmosphere in the ground has picked up a little bit. There's a ball inside to Barrett, who tries a turn, and he's just caught. I'm not quite sure what the Aldershot Town players are appealing against. A yellow card for the Tamworth captain Milnes. I think they were saying
the ball away.
It was a bit kicking the ball away. Delaying the restart is the official title for that one. And sharp reactions from Barrett, 'cause I don't think he was expecting that pass.
He wasn't.
And some very quick footwork from him.
Yeah, a little pirouette, dancing into space when there wasn't any. And I thought he tripped over his own feet, but the referee was a lot closer, and she decided that he was fouled. And then, Milnes definitely delayed the restart by whacking the ball about 30 yards away.
Game number 15 of the season for Aldershot. Josh Barrett's got 9 assists and 4 goals. Or 16 if you include the FA Cup, of course, as I'm including the goals. Throw into Tamworth. Imagine in the first 15, 16 games of the season, assisting 9, scoring 4, and looking at the league table and seeing your team 19th.
And also people thinking that Josh Barrett's gone off the boil.
Yeah, absolutely.
But such was the high standards that he set himself.
Yeah, last season and this. And last season things weren't particularly going for him in front of goal early on, and they gradually got better and better, and he got more and more clinical. Right, Aldershot Town 1, Tamworth 0. We're in the 40th minute. Throw in to Tamworth. It's on the halfway line, which now means apparently that Tonks doesn't take it and Fairlamb does. Fairlamb then steals all the yards that Tonks was trying to take. Jackson wins the ball in the air twice. Gilligan hooks the ball forward. Ball falls into the path of Duku. Little back heel looking for Tonks. Won by Armitage. Clears it forward. Won by Fairlamb. Missed by Milnes. Hooked forward by Hargreaves. I think Milnes might have stuck his hand out.
He did.
And just needs to be a little bit careful. The Lamb skipper, after picking up that yellow card, more self-defence, I think, the hands out in front of him there than anything else. I think that's more than understandable. I'm certainly not calling for a second yellow. I hate the way that yellows are banded around for virtually anything these days.
Yeah, I'm not convinced it was self-defence, but certainly not worthy of a yellow card.
My lord. Right, okay, here's Archie Taylor down the right side to Barrett, receives the ball back to goal, forward returning run from Taylor onto the ball again. Now Barrett makes the run, looks to get the early ball, squares it to the edge of the area, which was not a bad idea, but he's found a Tamworth player, and now Moles will carry the ball forward, sends it into the path of Donkor, who's galloping forward. He's been held up momentarily by Ryan Hill, and now Tamworth have got it again. Gandor quickly shuts down Milnes, so he has to go back to Riley. Riley to Donkor, back into Riley. Good footwork from him to get away from Hargreaves momentarily, but Hargreaves is back there like a bee round a honeypot. And then the ball spread out to the right hand side. I know that saying's meant for bees and there's only one of him, but it feels like there's more than one of him sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Riley plays it forward, touch inside, bit of a back heel from Tonks, doesn't come off, cleared forward by Gilligan, chased by Gandor, just outwitted by Hayden Hollis, who once again seemed to have a 360-degree radar of what was going on around him. Here's Fairlamb over halfway, plays the ball up to Inoru, holds it up, back to Fairlamb, now on to Tonks on the edge of the penalty area, dancing feet, and then it's played forward, brushes off one of the two Aldershot players there, Taylor and Hargreaves, and behind for a corner to Tamworth, their third of the game. The Shots yet to have one. 42 minutes very nearly gone. Shots 1, Tamworth 0, but some defending to do, Steve Gibbs.
Yeah, not quite sure about that decision. I didn't really see a deflection, but slight it must have been. But Tonks is that furthest forward of the Tamworth midfielders, and he's finding too much space. Aldershot Town need to be wary of him drifting into dangerous positions.
Corner then to Tamworth. Shots 1-0 up. Less than 3 minutes of the first half left. Milnes sends the ball into the near post. Headed away by Archie Taylor. Again, he's a bit of a ball magnet today, but Riley's picked up the loose ball. He's going to have a follow-up shot, and it's nearly creeping into the corner. Dewhurst sees it late, gets down to his right, and it'll be another corner to the Lamb.
Yeah, Riley was shaping up as though he was going to float a ball to the high ball to the far post, but then caught pretty much everybody off guard. A low grass cutting shot towards the near post, but Dewhurst was able to adjust in time.
Here comes the next corner to the far post, and there's a coming together, and then it's played towards the goal, and the referee gives another corner to Tamworth, their 5th of the game. Just gives me an opportunity to update you on other scores. Altrincham equalised at home to Woking, but Woking have gone ahead again through Jack Turner. Rochdale 3-0 up now against Yeovil, and Southend 2-0 up at Morecambe. Good afternoon to Steve, and I beg your pardon to Tony and Sue listening in Cambridgeshire, and also to Colin in Tenerife. Thank you very much for your message.
Yeah, this corner should have either been a goal kick or a penalty.
In it comes, played to the far post, and Dooku gets there, jumping with Thomas, who high fives Mullins as the ball goes behind the goal, and it will be a free kick to be taken by Dewhurst. A number of people around us turn and head to the queues for a cuppa at half time. Perhaps the coldest Saturday afternoon we've had of the season so far, but not that cold, just fresh. Let's call it fresh.
It's fresh, yes. Yeah, but yeah, that ball into the box, Tamworth were appealing for a penalty. I think Kwame Thomas had his arms wrapped around possibly Hayden Hollis, I'm not quite sure. Tonks then put the ball wide. Where the referee found a corner from amongst all that, I'm not quite sure.
Here come, Armitage is having his shirt pulled. Free kick to Aldershot. Into the final 30 seconds of normal time in the first half, as the 4th official readies his board with the additional time, and we'll advise you what that is shortly. Shots 1, Tamworth 0. Really solid start from the visitors, who had the first 3 chances of the game, but Aldershot taking the lead on 35 minutes with their first effort all afternoon. Ball forward, chased by all. Gandor is there. He's just caught the Tamworth player. And do you know what? I wondered if a free kick might have been given for a little nudge by Gandor, but he did it very subtly. He's got away with it. My words, my opinion. And Aldershot Town have won their first corner of the afternoon in the added time, which I missed.
Yeah, I think Fairland was expecting a foul and might have reasonably expected to get one, but yeah, I think Thomas and Hollis had a bit of a coming together underneath the flight of the ball, and then Gandor, again, his willingness to chase lost causes has earned Aldershot Town this corner.
1-0 Shots, corner on the stroke of half time from Barrett is caught underneath his far post by Jazz Singh, sends it out to the right hand side. Ryan Hill chases, gets his back pass in all the way to Dewhurst, plays it off of Inoru. And the referee is going to give a free kick here to Tamworth for picking the ball up, but Dewhurst is saying that the ball came off the Tamworth player, so he was entitled to pick it up. And Ryan Hill's gone over to the assistant referee on the far side, but I think the protestations are going to fall on deaf ears, and we may have had an incorrect decision at both ends in this added time here at the end of the first half. Tamworth are going to have a free kick inside the Aldershot Town penalty area. Steve, what's your opinion on this one?
I think there certainly was. It looked to me like there was a deflection.
Yeah.
And initially, I think again the referee has overruled her assistant. I don't think the assistant was going to make a decision on that.
Okay, nervous moments here for the shots. I say on the verge, on the stroke of half time, but neither you or I, anyone around us, saw the board go up with the added time. Even the look on the face of the Tamworth commentators to the right of us suggests they can't believe that that's been given as a free kick.
Yeah. Even the venerable, estimable Sam Carter has not seen the fourth official's board.
No.
So one can only assume that he hasn't shown it.
Well, far more important than how long is left is what are Tamworth going to do with this free kick. Now, the Aldershot town wall, we're square onto it. It looks a very generous 10 yards to me. Tamworth, what will they do? Little pass to the side and an effort on goal. Let's see what they do. Hollis is there. Duku is there. Into Hollis. Shot comes in. And it's in. And it's given. It's 1-1. Hayden Hollis has got the goal. He knew what he was going to do. He demanded the ball. He got it. He's fired it home. And Aldershot Town find themselves level here on the verge of half-time. Aldershot Town 1, Tamworth 1.
Really good finish from Hayden Hollis. Well worked free kick from Tamworth. Lashed through a crowd in the Aldershot Town penalty area. The Aldershot Town goalmouth. Dewhurst couldn't stop it. But whether that free kick should have been awarded remains to be seen. The camera is over on that side, and I think that will maybe give a bit of a better indication. Alan Dowson, to mark his debut, has now been sent off. Keeping the tradition of Aldershot Town managers being sent from the dugout. He looked perplexed. He was clearly aggrieved at the decision and its outcome. Well, and obviously you can't give a yellow card to a manager. It has to be a quiet word or a red card. There is no middle ground. But Alan Dowson has been sent to the stands.
Welcome to the hot seat, James Henry. Shots 1, Tamworth 1, and Tommy Widrington may have moved on. But the shenanigans, the entertainment continue here. Tamworth will feel a little unfortunate that the shots went ahead, and the shots feel desperately unfortunate that Tamworth have been allowed a free kick and taken full advantage of it just before half time. And unfortunately we've got a little bit of chaos here as the teams leave, and the officials are going to get an unpleasant reception as they come off. We'll update our radio listeners, Steve, very shortly, so I may not come to you just yet for your half-time summing up. 1-1 half-time here at the EBB. Well, there you go, listeners. You can hear the reception for the officials as they go off. And personally, if I was reviewing that, not that I get to other than an opinion the same as everyone else, I would be looking at every bit as much as the assistant referee on the far side as the referee herself, because even from here we could see the deflection on the ball, which is the exact reason why Dewhurst thought, well, I'm okay to pick this up then. Normally the benefit of the doubt's given in those tight situations, but it was almost like the referee couldn't wait to get up there and say, no, I'm going to do it the other way.
Yeah, and I think it was the referee's decision. I don't think the assistant, who was by far the closest person to the incident, was going to give a decision. The referee has intervened.
All right, we'll just sit tight and wait to do our half-time report to radio. And then we'll have a look at the other scores and have a look who's on the bench for the shots today. I think Dowson's still allowed to go into the dressing room, isn't he, when he's been sent? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think he'll do it anyway and have to be turfed out and given another red card.
Yeah, I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one. We'll have a look at the half-time scores in the National League, because I don't think they're imminently coming to us yet on the radio. So Rochdale 3-0 up against Yeovil, a brace for Manny Diaz-Arue and one for Ryan East. Altrincham 1, Woking 2 is a half-time scoreline. Bournemouth 0, Eastleigh 0, Boston 0, Scunthorpe 0, Brackley 0, Gateshead 0. Brackley down to 10 men since the 6th minute. Morecambe 0, Southend 2, Truro 0, Halifax 0, York 2, Wealdstone 0, and earlier today Solihull Moors 2, Braintree 0. And a couple of games later on at 5:30, Carlisle against Forest Green, 2 of the top 3 there, and Sutton against Hartlepool.
Scores from the other Enterprise National League games taking place today. For the first one, the full-time score, Solihull Moors 2, Braintree Town 0. The other half-time scores, it's Altrincham 1, Woking 2, Bournemouth 0, Eastleigh 0, Boston 0, Scunthorpe United 0, Brackley Town 0, Gateshead 0, Morecambe 0, Southend United.
Yeah, it's 1-1 at half-time. A rather strange first half, because Tamworth were the better side of the first half an hour. They had the only 3 attempts on goal, the best of which was Manny Duku's powerful header wide, unmarked from a corner. But then the shots, with their very first chance of the afternoon, took the lead. Another assist, in fact it was a shot towards goal by Josh Barrett, but just slightly off target and towed in at the far post by Kwame Thomas for his back-to-back goals for him. It looked then very much as though the shots would go in the ascendancy at the break. However, Marcus Juhas picked up what was deemed to be a back pass by referee Kirsty Dowell. We all thought in the ground there was a deflection on it off of a Tamworth player, but neither referee or assistant were firm on that. The free kick was given, taken short from inside the penalty area, shifted out to the left and drilled home by the evergreen Hayden Hollis. Half-time here at the EBB, and Alan Dowson sent off on his managerial debut for Aldershot Town, protesting that. It all happens here at the EBB, Adrian. 1-1 half-time. Tommy Who. We move on. Wonderful times. A wonderful Wembley win, of course. But listen, that's completely out of Aldershot Town's control. They're the ones who I feel for. They're the ones who've had to react. They've reacted well. Alan Dowson stepped forward. Shahid Azim, the chairman, has spoken to the Aldershot Town supporters and has been as transparent as he possibly can be. And the Aldershot home faithful have got thoroughly behind Alan Dowson and the team this afternoon. And I think been pleased with what they've seen from their side, albeit up against a tricky Tamworth side today. Yeah, 1-1 half-time, and things move on very quickly in football, Adrian, don't they? They have to.
And here comes Rob with it, number 2.
It might be harsh, but sorry.
Last go.
Without actually getting, without actually inserting him right underneath it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well done. Well done, Dave. Over to our match box. And back to you, thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Aldershot's next fixture is this coming Tuesday evening when we host Southampton under-21s in the National League Cup. Kick-off at the M Stadium is at 7 o'clock. A week today we travel to Scunthorpe United in the Enterprise National League. Kick-off at 3 o'clock. And we continue our journey in this season's Emirates FA Cup on Saturday the 1st of November when we visit Weston-super-Mare. On Tuesday the 5th of November we're away to Bournemouth before returning to the M Stadium on Saturday the 8th of November for the visit of Forest Green Rovers, that game kicking off at 12:30. And the Shots Away travel group will be running coaches to our forthcoming away games at Scunthorpe, Weston-super-Mare and Bournemouth. The coach at Scunthorpe a week today leaves the M Stadium at 8:45 and the fare is £52 for members and £55 for non-members. For Weston-super-Mare on the 1st of November, departure time is 11 o'clock and the cost is £30 for members and non-members as well. And for Bournemouth, the coach departs at 4:30 and the fare is £27 and £30. To book a place on any of these trips, please email the Shots Away Travel Group on shotsawaytravelgroup@gmail.com. And the Shots Foundation are holding a community quiz night in the M Lounge on Friday evening. Cost is £90 for a team of 6 or £50 if you want, £15 if you want to sign up as an individual, and includes a buffet dinner. For more information, see today's programme or email glenn.brayley@theshotsfoundation.org.
It's very enjoyable. That's not how we do it. When we win it, we don't Manny's been really yeah, on the ball, but it's a donkey ball, man. The left is kind of got that license in his stroke. He's quick enough to not catch it. Well, I think that's why Ryan plays well. Yeah, oh, yeah. That's the I'm chatting to the liner. He's chatting to the liner.
Birthday announcements, but first of all, the Shots Foundation are pleased to welcome our guests in the community stand today. They're the Aldershot girls and boys under 11s. They were on five waivers before the game today, so very, very welcome to you all.
Okay, here come the teams for the second half here at the EBB, where it's all square, 1-1, thanks to a rather controversial moment just before half-time, which saw Aldershot Town manager Alan Dowson sent off for protesting after Tamworth scored a short free kick taken in the penalty area after what was deemed to be a back pass picked up by Marcus Dewhurst. I think the majority of the people in the stadium saw, or even heard, the deflection on the ball. It started off as a back pass, but clearly came off a Tamworth player. But no point from an Aldershot Town point of view going on about it anymore, because it's in the history books. It's 1-1, and the best thing Aldershot Town can do, Steve Gibbs, is respond on the pitch. The officials come out to the same boos they had on the way off the pitch at half time. Aldershot will attack the East Bank end in this second half in their home shirts, or red shirt, home kit of red shirts, blue shorts and red socks. Tamworth in sky blue away shirts with white shorts and white socks. Very good afternoon to David Brewer, who's nearly always here at the EBB, but he's watching the game in Corfu. So that looked a very poor decision by the referee awarding the free kick there, but surely the assistant referee should have seen that it came off a Tamworth player. That's pretty much what we were saying, David, but they didn't. Or if they did, the referee overruled them. We do need to offer a little bit more going forward in the second half. That's the thought of Dave Brewer. The shots will kick off this second half. Referee Kirsty Dow will get us underway. And Barrett goes all the way back to Dewhurst. The shots lining up as follows: Dewhurst in goal, Mullins, Jackson and Armitage the back three, Hill, Hargreaves, Gilligan and Taylor across the middle, Barrett behind Thomas and Gandor. Ball into the areas, headed away clear, and now Tamworth will pick it up with Enoru. He'll go back to Fairlamb, down the left hand side, one in the air by Armitage, straight to a Tamworth player, and a lovely cushioned path into the path of Duku. Ball squared across, and Jackson couldn't stop that, but Dewhurst could. Good tracking, covering from Joe Riley, stops the quick pass out from the goal from Dewhurst from meeting its target, which was Ryan Hill. Throw into the shots, Max Mullins to take. It's been a number of games this season at home, Steve, where Shots have had a slender 1-0 lead at half time, and only once have they actually gone on to win those games. Last time out here, of course, they led against Braintree, but that one also ended up 1-1. So that's a poor clearance from Mullins inside, one by the head of Tonks, but now Armitage will get onto it and send the ball out to Archie Taylor. Shots with the ball in their own half, 5 or 6 players at the moment in there. Gilligan's free if Taylor looks up, but he goes back to Armitage, and Armitage now across to Maxi Mullins. Play on the left side of this 3-man defence, exchanges passes with Hargreaves. We're a minute and a half into the second half already. Hill picks it up, shows inside, goes down the left, skips past one challenge. That comes in from the number 15 Doncourt, and into touch. Throw in taken by Hill, gives it to Hargreaves, gets it back. Looks to try and take on Doncourt again. He's past him, he's got to the byline, he's into the penalty area, drives it across, half cleared, followed up by Archie Taylor 6 yards out, and he's ballooned it over the bar. He's been so reliable with his finishing this season. One can only think it took a little bit of a bobble, Steve, because he missed it by a mile.
He did, he didn't just miss. That was, for a player who's been so assured in those exact positions, arriving on the ball as it breaks through the penalty area.
Unmarked, 6 yards out.
I was thinking, it's 2-1. It's got to be 2-1.
I was just I wondered if he was thinking about what his goal celebration would be. It was that certain. Here now at the other end, danger as Tamworth attack on the left side. Shot comes in, it's beaten up in the air by Dewhurst, and then he tries to follow it up, but he's impeded from doing so by Tom Tonks. Free kick to Aldershot inside their own penalty area. And it remains a 1-1, Steve. and in these opening 3 minutes of the second half, could have been a goal at either end.
Yeah, positive start from the shots, absolutely. Archie should have at least got that on target. Forced a save from Singh, but no, it was more danger to the cars in the car park behind the East Bank than the Tamworth goal. But nonetheless, really good from Ryan Hill to break past Doncourt, get to the byline and make the pullback. Aldershot Town need to keep that impetus and that mentality for the rest of the second half, because they need to put behind them the perceived injustice of the Tamworth equaliser.
Here's a ball played forward and a shot comes in from Duku under the guardianship of Ben Jackson. He couldn't really get a tackle in. He evaded his man really well there, but Jackson did manage to shift him a little bit wide to tighten the angle, and in the end Duku's effort is behind the goal and to the side. Goal kick to the shots, 49 minutes gone, shots 1, Lamb 1.
Yeah, good strong defending, and Aldershot Town playing it around rather precariously inside their own area.
Good win from Doncourt against Hill, but the ball's been picked up by Hargreaves. Back to Mullins. Archie Taylor wants it sent all over to the right side. He's in acres of space. Hill spotted that now, I think, but he's cut inside and he's trying to hang on to the ball. He's been impeded by a combination of Tonks and Moles. Free kick to Aldershot just outside their own centre circle, and still Archie Taylor waits in oceans of space over on the right hand side, and perhaps Aldershot will spot that at some point. No, ball into Hargreaves, back to Mullins. Mullins goes back to Dewhurst. Dewhurst one touch outside his area, guides it into Armitage. Gilligan ball down the middle for Kwame Thomas, but he can't control it. Combination of Tamworth players get onto the ball. Fairlam and Hollis it was. Now the ball's played up to Duku, shifted out left, back inside, well read by Mullins, cut out by a combination of him and Jackson. Hargreaves carries it, and then a ball down the left, and Gandor will chase, very nearly gets a key foot in front of Kennedy Digi. Tamworth go back to Singh. Hill wins it in the air. Gandor can't quite get onto the loose ball. Riley's got it in the centre of midfield, sends it out to Fairlam, and Fairlam clips the ball up towards the left touch line. It's just kept in by Anura. He's got the close company of Armitage. He's wriggled away from him. He's running to the edge of the penalty area now and carries on, squares it, half cleared, and the ball will run kindly for shots. Hill sends it inside to Barrett. Barrett clips the ball. Oh, he's looking to just clear it over Doncourt, but he couldn't quite get the height to do so. Then Gandor would have been in. Shakes his head, he's annoyed with himself. He didn't have long to pick that pass, didn't get the weight right, and here come Tamworth again. They're not going to go away, that's for sure. As a ball played forward, Hill gets there, does really well, gets his touch, takes the contact from the on-rushing Doncourt, who frankly at times is looking more like Doku.
He is, absolutely, yeah. But in the end, as Enoru managed to break down the left-hand side a minute or so ago, I think there was really good defending from Maxi Mullins, who ended up in the back of the net, but his intelligence to deflect the ball with his chest virtually on the line made sure that only he ended up in the net and not the ball.
Boreham Wood were the second top scorers in the National League going in today, and they have opened their account now at home to Eastleigh. Long goal kick, headed on by an inside by Thomas, cleared forward by Tamworth, one in the air by Armitage, and it will find touch. Shots 1, Tamworth 1 in the 53rd minute, and we're going to get, I think, our first long Tom Tonks throw of this second half. Just away to the right of where Steve and I are looking on from. Only needs to come off once, doesn't it? That's the problem for Aldershot Town. They defended it well. Archie Taylor's won 2 or 3 of the headers up until now. Armitage wins this one, finds Hargreaves, tries to clear it away, headed back in, and then Dewhurst will get onto it. Hargreaves is quick. Early ball from Dewhurst, and no. Donku gets a little fortunate there. He was stumbling, he was off balance, but he got something on it, headed it inside, and then Aldershot have committed a foul on halfway, just inside the Tamworth half, and Tamworth player is down and needs a little bit of treatment. Not sure if it's the skipper. It might well be.
Yeah, I think it might be. It was Hadi Gandor who committed the foul, and I think he's a little bit unlucky to have been penalised. I think they both slid in on the ball, and actually it's Stephen Moles, I think, and yeah, the referee, Miss Dowell, has adjudged that Gandor was the aggressor. I think that's a little bit harsh.
And looking at the sign of Jazz Singh, who's doing the rolling finger thing, I think that might be the end of Stephen Mole's afternoon. A rather innocuous coming together with Hadi Gandor on halfway.
Maybe, yeah, it might be that Moles has sustained a cut to his leg from Gandor's challenge and is unable to continue. But
let's have a look.
There didn't seem to be too much in the challenge from Hadi.
Tamworth's bench this afternoon: Leon Phillips, Matt Curley, Harvey Sayer, Joe Rye, Jordan Cullinan, Liebird, Ollie Lynch and Jordan Ponticelli. And Aldershot Town's bench as the management team of James Henry and Dave, the goalkeeping coach, with Alan Dowson sent to the stands towards the end of the first half there. The Shots bench is Pat Nash, Keane Anderson, Charlie Penman, Kiban Rye, Joe Lewis Evans, Tristan Abrahams and Matt Penny. We've got an intriguing situation in the game here, really, Steve, because obviously at 1-1, understatement of the year, all three results very much possible at this stage.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's up to Aldershot Town to seize the initiative. They've sporadically shown that they have got the tools to unlock this Tamworth defence, and it is a very well organised, low block sort of defence that asks the opposition, do you have the creativity to get through us, around us, over us, whatever way. Aldershot Town have done it once or twice, but probably not quite enough.
Yeah, absolutely. When you said sporadically, I'll put some detail on that. Once in each half so far. And that's not to be critical of Aldershot. If anything, it's to be complimentary to Tamworth, who have carved out half a dozen chances today of sort, but given up very little at the other end. And it's a sad sight whenever you see any footballer having to be carried off, and that is the sight that the Tamworth fans will look on now, seeing Stefan Moll's afternoon come to an end. He's going to be replaced by the pretty considerable talents of Jordan Ponticelli, Steve.
Yeah, Moles has been playing as a wide midfielder this afternoon. Ponticelli is a striker, maybe one of those players that can play in a little bit more of an attacking midfield role, but yeah, that's not a like-for-like change, so we'll see how that one plays out.
Okay, here is the free kick for Tamworth just inside their own half, clipped forward by Jazz Singh, flicked on by Duku. Armitage wins it in the air, sent back in from Tamworth, headed away by Jackson, only as far as Milnes, sends it out to the right hand side. Cross comes in, it's not Moles, Steve, and there's the ball towards goal and headed off the line and cleared away. So headed towards the line, came off Dewhurst, looked like it was going to go over the line, was cleared off the line by Maxi Mullins, who saved it from going in the 57th minute. It remains 1-1, and Steve, perhaps you can confirm who has gone off.
Yeah, it was Joe Riley.
Yeah. Sorry, Tamworth fans, apologies.
Yeah, in my defence, I overheard the Tamworth commentators say that it was Moles.
I like the way you've shifted the blame there, and I like the way you've stood up and given it back. Right there, fair enough. Anyway, I'm quite sure that those Tamworth supporters watching on DAZN will have known that it was Joe Riley, but our apologies nevertheless. Now, someone else is down. Is it Digi? Let's see if we can get this one right, Steve. I think it's Kennedy.
Yes.
Digi.
I'm more certain this time than it is Kennedy Digi, and that probably will mean that Tonks will slot back into that more defensive midfield role.
If it's the end of his
and
afternoon.
Ponticelli will, from the substitution that we've seen now with the player who's gone off, then I think Tonks will slot into that more defensive midfield role, and Ponticelli will probably play a kind of a number 10, an advanced attacking midfield role, support striker, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and Kennedy Digi, for the benefit of those listening rather than watching, is recovering pretty well, pretty quickly, and making his way to the touchline, so I think he'll be coming back on into the play. The referee, Kirsty Dowell, is going to drop the ball at the feet of Will Armitage, and Aldershot will pick up possession halfway inside their own half. She says to Manny Duku, don't come any closer than the 10 yards or so that he is at the moment, and we get back underway. Really scrappy start, Steve, to the second half. We're almost 14 minutes now anyway through it, still 1-1. Here's Hill. He's got an overlapping run from Maxi Mullins, ignores him initially, now he goes to him. Mullins sends the ball inside to Hargreaves, back to Hill. Hill clips it forward looking for Gandor. Tonks heads it away from goal. Doncourt gets there and plays it forward. Played forward again by Moles, but Aldershot have nicked it. Combination of Hill, Hargreaves and Mullins, who can't keep that in. Throw in it is to Tamworth, and eventually Moles is going to leave the ball there for Doncourt to take. Shots 1, Tamworth 1, and we're in the 60th minute. York now 3-0 up against Wealdstone. Boston have taken the lead against Linnell John Lewis. Against Scunthorpe through Linnell John Lewis. Here's Milnes with the ball through, well cut out by Archie Taylor. Picked up by Gilligan. Armitage goes back to Dewhurst. And it's Abdul Malik that's put Borehamwood ahead against Eastleigh. Borehamwood flying on their return to the National League, scoring goals for fun, keeping clean sheets for fun. The perfect cocktail right now, right up there with the big boys, the Forest Greens, the Carlisles and the Rochdales, and pushing, as Luke Garrard tends to do at least every other season, for the playoffs at least. A brace this afternoon for York City's Ollie Pearce. He's got that second and third York goals. Here come Tamworth down their left. Armitage foul, Armitage yellow card. 4 shots, I think that's 1 on either side now, and of course a red to the shots bench for Alan Dowson, who presumably is sat somewhere in the stand away to our left watching the second half.
I haven't seen him yet, but I would assume so. And Will Armitage has been excellent on his second shots debut, but wrestling with Inoru, yellow card all day.
Terrific game Inoru's had on the left hand side, and from a slightly deeper position, Doncourt this side. We're going to see Tristan Abraham soon. Suspect that'll be for Hadi Gandor, but you never know. Might be the end of Barrett's afternoon. In comes the free kick, and Duku manages to head it from the 6-yard box and heads it across goal rather than towards it. And the ball's cleared away to touch. Throw in to Tamworth. It's going to be another Tom Tonks special. And I'm not quite sure. Perhaps Steve will tell us what the...
I think Tom Tonks was getting a little bit of a good-natured banter, shall we say, from the front row of the stand in front of us. And he just lifted his shirt to show his six-pack.
In comes the throw, missed by everybody, bounces on once. Ponticelli's there trying to keep it in. Hill's now got it. He's been fouled from behind. He's come away with the ball. Potential counter-attack for Aldershot, and the referee has called it back for the free kick. Possible chance for the referee to play advantage there. I'm sure it is the end of Hadi Gandor's afternoon. 4 goals in 4 starts prior to today. Plenty from the bench as well this season. Gandor's battled hard. He gets generous applause from the Shots faithful, but he won't notch this afternoon. Tristan Abrahams has a chance to really, Steve, frankly, 15 games in, kick-start his Aldershot Town career.
Yeah, it hasn't really worked for Tristan at the moment, but we know the qualities that he does have.
Dewhurst with the goal kick, missed by everybody, flicked on by Hill, taken down by Tristan Abrahams, holds it up, gives it back to Hill. Hill skips inside his man, then he rolls one way then the other. He comes away with the ball, squares it to Gilligan, he can't get on it, but it goes through to Armitage anyway. And Aldershot move the ball out to the right hand side. Ball's in touch, throw in to Tamworth. Truro 0, Halifax 1 in the 64th minute. I would imagine that Halifax have been on the end of a barrage of long throws as well down in Cornwall, but they've held firm, as Halifax have tended to do over recent seasons, and now they've had their moment, so they lead by 1-0. I believe they are going for an astonishing 8th consecutive win, their 7th consecutive win in the National League. What a record that is. Imagine that, 21 points picked up in 7 games if they hold on. Here's Mullins receiving the ball just outside his penalty area from Dewhurst, gives it back to him. Is there going to be a deciding goal or more in this game? We shall find out. Mullins. Hargreaves down the inside left channel, being chased by Abrahams. He might just get there. He does get there in front of Digi, and he outwits him as well. Comes back down the line now, sends it inside to Barrett. Barrett's taken the ball into the penalty area, and he's been dispossessed. Donker and Tonks and Milnes were all there. Here's a ball forward, and Armitage wins it in the air. Hargreaves sends it forward, chest down by Abrahams. Oh, Thomas gets there, plays it forward, and is caught late by Hayden Hollis. And that might be more than just a free kick. First of all, referee Kirsty Dowell checks that Kwame Thomas is okay. He was caught late. She now reaches to her pocket, and I think quite rightly, Steve, shows a yellow card to Hayden Hollis.
Yeah, really good energy and impetus and desire from Kwame Thomas to make that ball his, and then he had to hurdle the outstretched leg of Hayden Hollis as he burst through a bit of a crowd.
It's been a really difficult week in the history of Aldershot Town Football Club. They're reeling right now from a punch on the nose, as the former manager might call it, by the former manager incidentally, but they're pulling together. They're showing a bit of character this afternoon. They're up against some pretty tidy opposition in Tamworth. They're 1-1 with 66 minutes gone, and they have a Josh Barrett free kick now, at least 35 yards out. He's not going to try, is he? He squares it out to the left to Mullins. He's into the penalty area. He squares it across. It's half cleared. And now Tamworth might get onto it first, but Hill does well, holds up in the challenge. He then is fouled from behind, and Aldershot will have another free kick to send into the box. And Aldershot, Steve, after the controversy on half-time, are responding the way you'd want them to on the pitch.
They are, absolutely. There was good play from Ryan Hill. First off, he had to win that 50-50 with Onoru, otherwise the little Tamworth winger would have had the whole of the Aldershot Town half to himself, and then he bought the free kick, just slowing up a little bit, inviting the defender to go through the back of him, and now Barrett has this free kick.
67 minutes gone, whips it into the far post. Thomas is up there. I think it came off him. It's gone behind. It's a goal kick to Tamworth, and the Tamworth manager Andy Peakes is having a strong word in the ear of the 4th official down there at the moment. I don't know what that's about. He's backed off now, and the 4th official is actually just doing that calm down motioning with his hands. Sit down or calm down. Anyway, goal kick to Tamworth, and Jazz Singh to take. And bounces once, flicked on by Ponticelli, half cleared, and it will be hooked away now by Gilligan. Not sure how much football Gilligan's played of late. Looks a fit young lad, doesn't he? 23 years old now. Mullins has got the ball, protecting it, finds Hargreaves. Hargreaves is sending it down the left, held up by Kwame Thomas, manages to play it on towards Abrahams. Abrahams, a really strong back pass from Hayden Hollins, way out to the left of his goal, picked up by Jazz Singh. Sends it forward, one in the air by Armitage. Cushioned header by Tonks into the path of Fairlamb, shut down by Hargreaves, goes back to Tonks. We're in the 69th minute, 1-1 here. That's a heavy pass from Tamworth, and it's won by Taylor. Sent forward by Hargreaves, but Hollis will get there in front of Abrahams. Hollis goes back to Singh, and we're back where we started. We're going to sing where we started. Out towards up the middle, one in the air by Armitage. Hollis has missed that, but offside is given against either Kwame Thomas or Josh Barrett. One that the fans level with that, seem rather unhappy with. That's Ian Gare, the kit man, just wandering about there near the dugout. He's third in command right now, Steve.
He is, absolutely, yeah. A couple more moments of indiscipline and
he's in charge.
He's in charge, yeah.
Singh with the free kick, halfway inside Tamworth's own half. It's headed up in the air by Duku, headed across by Gilligan, and then Hill picks it up and comes scampering away with the ball. Hands on his back by Enora. Enora is going to get a yellow card now, and Aldershot Town have a free kick. And Tamworth, Steve, were undoubtedly the better side in the first half. I dare put the point to you, 25 minutes into 25 minutes into the second half. Have Aldershot Town been slightly the better of the sides in the second half? Still pretty
possibly
even for you.
Yes,
still pretty even.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right, here's Armitage out to Taylor, certainly the last 5 or 10 minutes. Here's a ball looking for Abrahams, holds it up down by the corner flag. He's got a run inside from Taylor. He's also got Gilligan back there. Gilligan's got Hargreaves inside of him, but the pass almost doesn't find him. And the ball's in touch now, and Aldershot Town have been given a throw. Have taken it inside. Hargreaves to Barrett. Mullins on halfway to Hill. Always sees two Tamworth players whenever he gets on the ball. Keeps possession well. Gilligan's got it. He'll shift it further right on halfway to Armitage. Armitage comes over halfway, plays the ball into Abrahams. Back to Gilligan. Gilligan gives it back to Abrahams, who gives it back to Gilligan, who spreads it out to the left to Ryan Hill. He chests it down, looking to try and get away from Doncor. He just can't find a bit of space. Plays it forward, looking for Abrahams, who's slow to come off his man, but then he recovers well and does win the ball. And then Tamworth clear it forward by Doncor. Neither side can really get hold of this game at the moment, but it's Aldershot who are asking more questions. It's Aldershot who've got a bit more possession. Aldershot who've got a bit more territory. They're in their own edge of their own half now with Mullins, who gives it to Hill. Tamworth really well organised out of possession. Very difficult side to break down. Aldershot trying to be patient with their build-up. Back across the back line they go again. Archie Taylor is the one who is in acres of space. There's a ball straight through the middle, lifted up by Barrett, headed down, but only into Hargreaves. And now Aldershot have a free kick just outside the edge of the area. That is in position A for a right-footed free kick taker like Josh Barrett.
Yeah, possibly. It was very slight touch from Milnes, I think it was. Just grabbed a little grab of the hand of Cameron Hargreaves that knocked Hargreaves off balance. I think it was actually Moles. Not for the first time this afternoon, the victim of misidentification. But position A for Mr. Joshua Barrett.
All right, it's about 23, 24 yards out. It is on the left-hand side as Aldershot are attacking. He's obviously going to whip it in right-footed. It's kind of halfway between the edge of the 6-yard box and the edge of the penalty area. What's Barrett going to do? There's 4 men in the wall, one just to the side of it. Shots 1, Tamworth 1. Has Josh Barrett got a moment here? No, he sends his free kick into the wall, and now it's cleared away by Tamworth. And Gilligan, trying to get to the 50-50 ball, has caught, I think it might be Moles, but we'll hesitate on that, and receives a yellow card for the shots. Got there a little bit late. He got there as soon as he could, as the saying goes, Steve.
Yeah, I think maybe it was the pace of the move as much as anything has picked him up the yellow card.
It does almost feel, though, that at this point in the game, it's almost at the moment that every foul the referee gives, she's showing a yellow card for.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
No, I would agree. I think a couple of them have been a little bit soft.
What we don't know, of course, is there could be an element of totting up, 2 or 3 petty fouls, and then one like that could get you a yellow, couldn't it? Free kicks taken short by Jazz Singh. We're into the last 16 minutes here at the EBB. Aldershot Town 1, Tamworth 1. Gilligan clears the ball off of a Tamworth player into touch, and Archie Taylor will fetch the ball. He's been underutilised in this second half. He's been so much the free player for shots, but they just haven't been able to shift it to him, or shift it to him quick enough.
No, absolutely not, and he has. We've been able to see across the other side of the pitch the acres of space that he's allowed to.
Another offside, is it?
I think handball. Kwame Thomas controlled the ball with his chest, as he thought. The referee clearly thought that he also used his arm to gain a little bit of purchase.
Well, I didn't get a clear look. We always say it as we see it here, regardless of which way it's for. But elsewhere, Scunthorpe have equalised at Boston, and York have got a fourth now against Wealdstone, whose wheels are coming off.
I think it was maybe one of those that rolled across his chest, possibly onto his arm.
Free kick taken by Singh to the edge of the area, over everybody, and Mullins is chasing it. He's been shoved in the back. Not much contact, to be fair.
He was playing for that, Mullins was.
Yeah, by Stefan Moles, and Mullins does well, and Aldershot will get underway quickly with the free kick between Dewhurst and Moles. Played forward by Dewhurst, taken down by Hill. Might have been a bit of his arm on that, but nothing's given, and now he sends it out to Archie Taylor. Well, just proof that we call it as it is. The referee might have been blindsided on that one. Here's Gilligan sending the ball into the path of Hargreaves. Don't think either of these sides, given whatever their circumstances, are going to settle for a point. They'll be pushing and pushing for a winner if they can possibly find it. There's a ball across the middle, which Barrett does well, and then Gilligan looks to play it out to Taylor to finally find him, but it's cut out by Ponticelli, and then Aldershot win it and then lose it, and then get it back with Barrett. Barrett finds Mullins. Mullins strokes it first time into the path of Ryan Hill, who already knows that if he goes up the left he's going to hit traffic, blue and white traffic. Here he leaves it, scampers inside, tries the ball into the feet of Abrahams. Abrahams is going to come back out again to Hargreaves. Hargreaves inside to Gilligan. Is Gilligan going to try that ball out again? No, he isn't. He's going to drop it into Armitage. And Aldershot just can't get the ball where they want to get it to Archie Taylor, just to get him scampering up the right like he does. Here's Armitage in possession, forced all the way back to Dewhurst. Dewhurst knows that Mullins is initially free, momentarily free on the left side, and tries to play it forward. That's a poor pass, cut out very easily by Moles. Sends it inside to Tonks. Tonks is going to give it back to Moles. 77 minutes and 17 seconds. Ball played forward. Ponticelli on the byline, looks to square it. Cut out by Ben Jackson. Tamworth are going to have a sixth corner of the afternoon with 12 and a half minutes of normal time left.
I think both teams will feel that the game is there to be won. I think the second half has been not quite a non-event, but no one's really grasped the initiative, taken the game by the scruff of the neck, and anyone who can do it in the last 15 minutes or so, including injury time, because there will be a not insignificant amount of that. I think anyone who can really seize the initiative can take the 3 points here.
Corner to Tamworth then, to be taken by the skipper Milnes. Can they, relatively late on, get their noses in front, all to the far post? Some sort of scorpion kick attempted by Manny Duku. Jackson comes away with the ball. Hargreaves plays the ball into the path of Abrahams. He's into the penalty area, holds up. Tries to get it on his left foot and make room for a shot, but the moment has come and gone. Taylor's now going to send in across to the far post. Thomas gets up and gets his head and heads it wide. And Tristan Abrahams, Steve, has to either get a shot away there or square it to the free man in the middle of the box. Wasn't a moment to hesitate.
No, but he did, and that's symptomatic of the way that the season has gone for Tristan so far, that a confident, informed Tristan, and maybe in his defence you'd say someone who's getting regular starts and regular minutes, would have had the confidence to make the right decision in that moment, to play the right pass, pull the trigger, square it to Barrett, to make that decisive split second moment count. But unfortunately he took a touch, hesitated, and that moment was gone.
Here's a ball lifted forward by Hill, battled for by Kwame Thomas, hoofed away by Hayden Hollis, one in the air by Jackson, helped on by Hargreaves, appeals for handball, not given, but the ball runs through to Thomas. Thomas finds Hill. Hill is attracting Tonks. He's blocked off by Tonks really well, really cleverly. Throw in to Tamworth. Tonks read exactly what Hill was going to do there. And Andy Peaks is going to make a substitution for Tamworth. Steve is going to bring on Ollie Lynch. I think one goal in the league, perhaps one in the National League Cup this season as well. He's going to come on for Stefan Moles.
Yes, Lynch is a striker, a strong target man, but can play the channels. He started out down this right hand side for Tamworth as a direct replacement for Moles, but he is more of a central attacking player.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if they get one or two more Tom Tonks throws, he's a much taller player than Moles, so they're going to have an extra big body in the box for
as if they didn't have enough height on the pitch already.
Yeah. Free kick to Tamworth just inside their own half. These two sides scrapping away to try and leave the pitch this afternoon with all 3 points. At the minute they've got their mitts on one each. Aldershot, Steve, with Nash, Anderson, Penman, Rye, Evans, Abrahams and Penny on the bench. I've only bought one of them. Ball's bouncing around here, goes all the way through to Dewhurst in the area. He's got it now. One or two people wanted the early ball. Dewhurst couldn't see something he was comfortable with. He's going to kick it long out to the left. Abrahams can't keep it in, and it'll be another throw to Tamworth. Are we going to see another substitution at least for Aldershot here?
You'd think so. I think, Aldershot Town are not necessarily, having said that both teams will feel that the game is there for the taking, I don't think either side have really shown sufficient quality to lay claim to deserving the 3 points, but Aldershot Town need to lift it. The home form is not brilliant. The league form in general is not brilliant.
Here's Duku chasing the ball into the area, he squares it across. They might get a shot here. It comes off of Archie Taylor and loops up and behind for a corner, the 7th of the afternoon for Tamworth. And they will tell you quite rightly they are more than deserving of at least a point this afternoon, and they'll feel they've got a chance of all three. Woking have probably just secured all three with a third goal at Altrincham in the 83rd minute. What a massive win that could be for them on their travels. Truro have equalised at home to Halifax, and Boreham Wood have doubled their lead against Eastleigh. Here at the EBB, it's lock level at 1-1. We're in the 83rd minute, and Tamworth have got themselves yet another corner, and it comes from Milnes. Dewhurst comes, can't get onto it. Hollis sends in a shot on target, blocked by Dewhurst, and meanwhile referee Dowell blows the whistle for a free kick, an infringement somewhere in that lot. Steve shrugs his shoulders. I didn't see it either.
No, who knows?
It's been given, and Aldershot Town have a free kick, stroke goal kick, whatever you want to call it, halfway inside their own penalty area with just over 7 minutes left, plus whatever's added. Is there an end to this story one way or the other today, or is it going to end in stalemate? Here's Armitage heading the ball forward. Thomas steps onto it, holds it up. He's being fouled surely. He falls over, and then the referee gives a free kick, does she, to Aldershot? Or I'm not sure what.
No, I think she initially gave the throw to Tamworth and then changed her mind.
All a little bit indecisive, but Aldershot plough on anyway. Hill's got the ball on this left side, gets it back onto his right foot. Mullins is the overlap. Oh, lovely whipped ball in. Oh, and it's palmed behind by Singh. In fact, no, it's been cleared off the byline. I thought it had gone behind for Aldershot, what would have been just Aldershot's second corner of the afternoon. And Tamworth now looking to counter-attack on this right-hand side with the substitute. Lynch looks to square it. It's cleared away to touch by Aldershot again. Mullins doing well, feeling a bit of cramp there. And
really good interception by Jackson as well. He had to slide there and make it because Ponticelli was lurking with intent at the far post.
Tom Tonks is going to come across and take another throw. I think they've had 7 corners and 7 long throws today, each of them coming with similar threat. Aldershot have dealt pretty well with them so far, but now Tamworth have an extra big man in that penalty area in the substitute Lynch, who replaced the diminutive Moles. We're going to see Matt Penny on soon. 4 shots. In comes the long throw from Tonks, headed away by Armitage, only as far as Tonks, who looks to volley it back in, volleys it up in the air, and he's going to get onto his own pass, then he squares it across. It's behind the goal. It will be a goal kick to Aldershot Town, and if they want to, Steve, they can now make this substitution. And we are going to see the long-awaited of Matt Penny, who last played on the opening day of the season, scored on his debut at Altrincham, and finally, the former Sheffield Wednesday player is going to come on and replace Maxi Mullins. Flowing, a little bit of cramp as well. Penny, 24 replaced by the number 42.
Yeah,
rather poetic.
Some sort of mirror image in that, but yeah, long awaited home debut for Matt Penny, and undoubted quality and experience that he will bring. Such a shame, just one of innumerable players who could have helped bolster that Aldershot Town defence, but they've had to watch from the stands and the injury room.
Here's a ball out from Dewhurst, won in the air by Taylor, helped on by Thomas, chased down by Tristan Abrahams, who thinks he's got a throw, but it's gone the other way, and he accepts it. I think he was just trying a little bit of... There has been a few decisions today that officials haven't been too sure. 101 away supporters, well done to Tamworth. That's an excellent showing in a crowd of 2,412. The average numbers for the season almost being held up this afternoon. It's probably averaged around about 2,500, hasn't it, so far? The most typical home attendance anyway. Probably brought down by the midweek games where it's nearer 1,500. Long ball forward, missed by Hollis and Thomas, and then sent forward again. Armitage does well to get there and win it, and he's cut out of the sky by Lynch. Barrett almost got there, cleared away by Singh. Jackson holds firm, wins it in the air. Hargreaves with a header, but he can only find Tonks, who helps it forward to Duku. Duku to Lynch. Lynch down the right side is looking to go past Jackson, but he's run out of pitch. It will be another goal kick to the shots. And Steve, this isn't a game that's going to live long in the memory for the quality on show, but it's been all about Aldershot Town's response to their manager just jumping ship in the middle of the week.
Yeah,
thanks for that, Tommy. And they've done all right. They've done okay.
Yeah, I think it has been low on quality. It's another shaping up to be another slightly underwhelming home performance, but in the circumstances and against the Tamworth team set up like this and in the form that they're in, then I think a point would represent a tentative step in the right direction. I think it's 1 win in 9 in the league for Aldershot Town, 1 defeat in 10 for Tamworth. These sides came into it in polar opposites in form, but a point I think probably maybe not entirely dissatisfying for both teams.
Here's Archie Taylor picking up the pieces from the challenge between Hollis and Thomas. Spreads it to Barrett. He's running to the edge of the area. He tries to give a give and go with Abrahams, but Tamworth are too smart. They've read it. They go back to Singh. Now up to Lynch, but the ball's won in the air by Gilligan. It looks like he's going to go the duration here. Why can't Hargreaves just send that ball out to Taylor there? I don't understand why Aldershot can't get the ball into Taylor. Perhaps some credit due to Tamworth. Perhaps a little bit of concern from Cameron Hargreaves. He desperately doesn't want to give the ball away at this stage.
Yeah, Archie did seem to be in enough space that he could have at least received the ball.
He has been so much of this second half, but Aldershot have barely found him. Is Dewhurst going down the middle? Surely is that a foul on Thomas? Not given. Played forward. Then another. Is that a foul on Abrahams? Has it been given? It's a foul by Abrahams, is it? I can't keep up with it right now.
I think the referee's just given a goal kick.
The goal kick, yeah. Right? Okay.
I think they would. Yeah. She went up to both players just to say, "Calm down, lads."
Goal kick then.
Number 19, Ryan Hill.
Ryan Hill's been given the official Aldershot Town man of the match this afternoon. Goal kick's taken, one really well in the air by Armitage, and then Barrett scrapping away for this ball here with Tonks. Tonks sends it up in the air, flicked on by Lynch, sent back by Jackson, headed back by Tom Tonks, flicked on by Lynch. Penny goes in bravely and comes out of it with the ball on this left hand side. Looks to hold up his man, then he has an extra touch he didn't really want. He hasn't quite found his composure yet, Penny. 6 added minutes here for Aldershot or Tamworth to try and push on and find themselves a winner. 1-1 it was at half time, 1-1 it remains now. Donker with a throw down the line to Lynch. Hargreaves battles hard for it. The ball deflects wide. Enoro comes up against Taylor. Oh, Taylor's won it, but handball's given against him. And Aldershot had a counter-attack on, but the referee, who I think must have been blindsided to that, guessed that it was a handball. Who knows whether she's right or wrong on this occasion. Free kick to Tamworth. Tonks might need some treatment here. He's down on his haunches. He's holding his left knee, and he's now up again. Decided he doesn't need treatment, and Tamworth send the ball out to the right hand side to Doncourt, who's going to try an early cross. That's half cut out, and then there's Ponticelli's got it, edge of the penalty area, back to goal, going down the byline, sends it across to the far post. It's headed up and away by Jackson, caught by Dewhurst to avoid it going for a corner. And now he kicks long, and Barrett's chasing, but that'll be a difficult one. Fairlamb gets there first. Barrett needs to make sure he doesn't foul, just pen him in, holds him up to the byline, cleared away by Tamworth, flicked on by Enuru. Armitage sends it inside to Gilligan. Gilligan back to Jackson. Jackson shut down by Enuru, but manages to find Penny. Can Aldershot find a moment of inspiration here in the 92nd minute? 1-1. Penny continues his run forward. Now he squares it to Gilligan. Surely Gilligan through Armitage can find Archie Taylor. Give him one more run down that right hand side. He's going to try a cross from deep underneath the bar. Is going to be caught by Jazz Singh. We've waited so long for shots to find Taylor on that right hand side, and when he does, he perhaps snatched a little. Southend have won 3-0 at Morecambe. Tamworth on the attack. Gilligan takes no chances, clears it into touch onto the roof of the south stand over on the far side, pretty much opposite us here in the media area. We are 2.5 minutes into a minimum of 6 added here. Alan Dowson's first game in charge of Aldershot Town. He's been sent off just before half time. The score then was 1-1. It's still 1-1, and Tamworth have another long throw from Tom Tonks. In it comes from the left-hand side, cleared away by Penny, and it's going to go behind for a corner. Tamworth closing in on double figures now, and Aldershot with a bit of rearguard action here. They've probably been the side that pushed more for the win in this second half. It's been a lot more even, hasn't it? But as the game is drawing to a close, it's Tamworth with a long Tonks throw, and now another corner in right-footed from the left-hand side. Oh, surely Kwame Thomas is being dragged down to the floor there. Steve, nothing's been given. I mean, it's a goal kick, free kick, wouldn't make a lot of difference, but he's blatantly being dragged down, and it's a little bit concerning just how much the officials have missed this afternoon. And when they did spot something from an Aldershot Town point of view, I think most people in the ground would argue they got it wrong.
Yeah, I think there's been some strange decisions on both sides from all officials. I think collectively, I think they've not quite lost control of the game, but I don't think it's remained entirely under their command. Well,
Halifax might have been heading for an 8th win in all competitions, but they're 2-1 down now at Truro, and Woking have won 3-1 at Altrincham. Here on halfway, Tamworth have a throw taken by Tonks, headed down initially. Oh, that's good play from Archie Taylor, and Hargreaves sends the ball forward. Abraham's battles can't win it. What he can do though is impede Doncoeur, and Tamworth will have another free kick and another opportunity to get the ball up to Aldershot's back line through a bit of a lazy lumbering challenge by Tristan Abrahams.
It was, yeah, a soft free kick to concede, but nonetheless it was the right decision.
We've now got just over 1 minute left of the added time. Singh is going to send this one straight down the middle, flicked on and then cleared away by Ryan Hill. And again, Fairlamb so much quicker to react than Abrahams. Plays it forward, but the ball's been won and held up by Kwame Thomas. He finds Hargreaves, who clips a little whip ball out to the left side. Hill has left momentarily, the substitute on the floor, carried on his run to the edge of the box to Penny. Penny gives it back to Hill. Hill, ball into the box, back to goal for Hargreaves. He's trying to wrestle the ball away. Now Tamworth are going to come away from it. The counter-attack could be on. Anura is making his way straight up the middle. He twists one way, then the other. He's got Gilligan for company. Gilligan is on a yellow card. Anura ends up on the floor, sends the ball out to the left-hand side, picked up by Lynch. Inside now. Hargreaves challenges the Tamworth skipper Milnes, shifts him out to the right-hand side. He's looking to square it in, gives it to Lynch, back to goal, inside the penalty area, turns onto his right foot, looking for a shot, makes room for Inora. Inora shoots, buries it. Beck Ray Inora wins this game in the final minute, in the 96th minute for Tamworth. They've come to the EBB and the 101 fans are in jubilation because they've nicked all 3 points pretty much on the full-time whistle. Aldershot Town 1, Tamworth 2.
Yeah, that's the game over. If Aldershot Town get to kick off again, there'll be seconds left. But a rare moment of quality has won the game. Excellent build-up play from Tamworth. Lynch turning away, looking like he was going to shake to shoot, and then just finding Inoru, who's been probably the game's outstanding player, in acres of space, lashed the ball low, hard finish past Dewhurst, and it's the 101 Tamworth fans who are jubilant. The Shots fans wondering where to go from here.
And that literally was the last kick of the game. Agony for Aldershot at the end of a pretty awful week. They tried to respond as best they could. They pushed and pushed to try and get a winner, and they've ended up succumbing to a 96th minute winning goal by Beck Rayanoru for the visitors, who push on and push towards those playoff places. Final score here at the EBB: Aldershot Town 1, Tamworth 2.
Excellent.
Steve, it's a difficult one to sum up, but over to you to do the best you can.
Yeah, I think maybe the appropriate end to a difficult, debilitating week for Aldershot Town, away to our left in front of the East Bank, is a banner that was unfurled before kick-off as well. 2 words: Azim out. Not quite sure it's as simple as that, but can understand the frustration of the Shots fans who maybe are wondering where the truth lies in amongst all of the claim and counter-claim made by either side during the week. Whether you're in Camp Widrington or Camp Azim remains to be seen, and where the truth lies is probably somewhere in between. But it was a game of low quality. Aldershot Town, another underwhelming home performance, not really taking the game by the scruff of their neck, not showing the attacking qualities that we know they have shown earlier in the season. And Tamworth have finally mustered a moment of quality to win the game. Enoru, a brilliant finish, really good quality build-up play, and the Shots had no answer to it. They huffed and puffed, but didn't really muster the one moment that could have won the game in front of the East Bank for the home side. And then that allowed Tamworth to go up the other end and maybe have a little bit too much time, a little bit too much space. And boy, did they punish Aldershot Town.
Well, in amongst all that, Steve, can you find an Aldershot Town man of the match for us today?
I'd probably say, I think Will Armitage made a really good second debut.
I'd agree.
I think Ryan Hill was positive without really unlocking the Tamworth defence. It's difficult. I think it was an underwhelming collective performance when maybe you wanted a really stirring show of unity. I think also there was a bit of a lack of decisive change from the bench, which maybe is understandable given that the people on that bench, whether it be James Henry, Dave Smalley, Alan Dowson, when he was there in the first half, haven't really been in that sort of mindset. But I think it called for the Aldershot Town bench to twist rather than stick. But it was underwhelming overall, I think. And yeah, for me, I would probably go Will Armitage, who slotted back in like he'd never left. Ryan Hill for his endeavour, probably more than his end product. Archie Taylor could have been man of the match if he'd kept his shot on target and actually been used fully when he was available. Overall, I'm not sure that anybody really shone through, and as the team, as individually, didn't take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, fair enough, Steve. The irony that on his Eastbourne debut, Tommy Whittington's side have kept a clean sheet and won the game 1-0 at Maidenhead. Probably one of the last mentions we'll make, because they do have to move on. Aldershot Town tried so hard to move on this afternoon, but ultimately there's nothing worse in football than a defeat in the very last minute, and it was the last second of the last minute, because as soon as she blew for the restart, Aldershot played one pass, she blew up again. Kirsty Dowell, the referee, and the Shots keep no points here in North East Hampshire this afternoon. Tamworth win their 4th away win, away game out of 5, and push on towards or into those playoffs. We'll have a quick look at the score lines elsewhere. It's not going to make pretty reading, I'm afraid, for Aldershot Town today in the National League. A few games still going on, but the current score lines at least. Actually, my my app hasn't refreshed due to the data issues. So I know Woking won 3-1 at Altrincham, and Borehamwood were 2-0 up against Eastleigh. In fact, it's updated now. Solihull beat Braintree 2-0 earlier. Boston and Scunthorpe drew 1-1. Brackley and Gateshead drew 0-0, which was remarkable really, because Brackley played 94 minutes with 10 men. Morecambe 0, Southend 3, Rochdale 3, Yeovil 0. Truro 2, Halifax 1, a real turnaround there. York 4, Wealdstone 0. Carlisle and Forest Green, Sutton and Hartlepool still to come. And a little look at the National League table tells us that Aldershot somehow have remained in 19th place. They remain a point outside the bottom 4. Truro remain in it despite the 3 points they've won today. And thank you very much, Steve. We'll see you next time. Tuesday night, National League Cup, Aldershot against Southampton.
Will Armitage is playing 45 minutes for both teams.
Oh, very good. Extra information from Steve there saying that Will Armitage is going to play 45 minutes for each team on Tuesday in the National League Cup. So that's it. That's the end of our online commentary today. Listeners, thanks for joining us around the country, around the world, wherever you've listened in from. Post-match to come from one of the last remaining members of the Aldershot Town management team. It may be James Henry. It may still be Alan Dowson if he's allowed to speak to the media post-match after being sent off. I'm not quite sure of those rules. And we'll try and talk to an Aldershot Town player as well. But otherwise, Steve Gibbs and myself, Rob Worrell, will speak to you again on Tuesday evening. I'd imagine that's a 7 o'clock kick-off, Aldershot against Southampton under-21s in the National League Cup.